So this is pretty interesting. So there's a story here about how some Obama loyalists are starting to call out privately the Biden team, some doing it publicly, the Biden team for criticizing some of Obama's moves when he was president, and kind of damaging his legacy in a way. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't know the intricate details or maybe even the greater story about the neoliberal human centipede or the love triangle that happened between Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton. I had recorded like a half an hour video going through like a deep article on it, but I had never uploaded it. If you want me to upload that video, let me know down below. I think I still have the video, but it went super in depth. It was an article that broke literally everything down. But a TLDR is, Obama and Clinton are huge rivals, that being Hillary Clinton. Obama beats Hillary, picks Biden as his vice president. They're best friends. Biden's thinking he's going to be the next man up. But then Obama and Hillary patch things up. They actually become really, really good friends. And all of a sudden, Biden goes from being the main piece to the side piece. And he's the third wheel now. And so Obama actually chose Hillary as his successor in 2016 instead of Biden. Obama privately didn't like a lot of things about Biden. One of those things being that he always, talks like a, drunk uncle or whatever at a party. Stuff like that. He's not as calculated as Obama was, and that's what Hillary likes, or Obama likes so much about Hillary. He saw a lot of himself in Hillary, which was the calculated, studying stuff kind of thing, the studious aspect. Joe Biden is more of a just sling type of shit. He doesn't really know anything. He's dumb. That kind of thing. And Obama didn't really like that about him. And there was always lingering tensions. One of Obama's main campaign guys actually convinced Joe Biden not to run, and a bunch of Obama people had defected over towards the Clinton camp in that Clinton-Hillary battle, because if you remember, Biden wanted to run in 2016, but Hillary was so powerful and Obama was, kind of shooing away Biden essentially and in favor of Hillary. So here's what this article says. As President Biden, who ran for the Democratic nomination last year as former President Obama's closest ally, has recently begun voicing criticism of his predecessor. However mild the critiques might be, they risk being seen as nitpicking at the legacy of the most popular Democrat in the nation. Biden has said that Obama was not assertive enough in selling his economic stimulus plan, which the 44th president signed into law in February 2009 amid a huge financial crisis. Biden cast the problem as one in which Obama was too modest, quote, and we paid a price for it, ironically, that humility. Others in Biden's circle have argued that the Obama stimulus was too small, an error the current administration was adamant it would not make as it forged ahead with the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. Another related critique is that Obama was too eager to get Republicans to sign on to his policy goals, from economic stimulus to the Affordable Care Act, when they had no real interest in doing so. Suggestions that he was naive in this effort have long irked the 44th president. The turbulent cross-currents between Biden and Obama, as well as the left of the Democratic Party, which has been skeptical of both men, made it onto the pages of the New York Times on Tuesday. So, it is true that Obama's first stimulus plan that he passed in wake of the '08 crisis was definitely way too small. It was too slow and it was not wide enough in its reach, and so it was criticized by a lot of people for that because it just wasn't strong enough for the mode. And if he had done more, the economy probably could have bounced back faster than it did, but he was too slow, too weak. And I would say overall, when I think of Obama, I think of a weakling, essentially is what he was. He was really good at campaigning, but he was dog shit when it came to actually getting things passed, getting things through. Like an antonym to him, I would say, is like an LBJ or an FDR. It says former Senator Byron Dorgan suggested that Democrats were too willing to make concessions at the start of the Obama presidency. Representative AOC, while not criticizing Obama explicitly, she's very careful to do that, she don't want to lose those lib supporters, said that she, quote, came of age watching Democratic governance fail me and my family. Those kinds of observations, especially the ones emanating from Biden's circle, elicit a strong counter-reaction from some. I think they're utterly unnecessary. I mean, what point are they proving? That was then and this is now, said Democratic pollster and strategist Paul Maslin. One of the most prevalent tendencies in politics is to keep fighting the last war. But to Obama's defenders like Maslin, that kind of approach sometimes amounts to pointless carping. We are in entirely different situation, entirely different circumstances. No president is perfect. Maybe Obama could have pushed to do more. So what? It doesn't matter. He had to do stopgap things to save the economy, which he did. I think analyzing the past and actually being like, oh shit, that stimulus in wake of crisis was actually way too fucking weak, and we wasted our time trying to get Republicans to sign on. Fuck all that. This time around, let's do a stimulus that's strong enough to rebound the economy. I think that's the whole point of learning history and trying to analyze things. Isn't that the whole point? It's hilarious. It says the Obama-Biden relationship has always been a complicated one. To have a genuine affection for each other, but is also permeated by a strain of rivalry. Then it goes on to explain what it is that I told you earlier about how Biden wanted to run 2016, but Hillary wanted to run also, and Obama went with Hillary over Biden, so he kind of felt backstabbed essentially. Also because Biden doesn't align with Obama on everything. And a lot of times he would go with what Obama was saying just because out of loyalty. And so he kind of felt like, damn, bro, you fucked me over. That was the feeling that he got. It was so embarrassing because a bunch of Biden's team actually ran over to Hillary's campaign. He's like, where did everyone go? It's absolutely hilarious what exactly happened. So says Democratic strategist Tad Devine recalled a conversation he had with the senior presidential advisor at the White House early in Obama's tenure. Devine said he warned the top aide regarding Republicans that, quote, I just don't ever think these guys are going to play ball, a viewpoint that was largely borne out. But Devine added that when it comes to looking back on that era, I don't view it as infighting or criticism. I think it's much more about a recognition of what happened and taking that into account in terms of what we do now. Are we just going to let 50 Republicans filibuster, for example? Exactly. So that's what's really important to do. It says, but Biden and his allies need to be careful about anything that tips into outright criticism, especially given the reverence in which Obama is held. And that exactly is why there's a lot of people who come out in defense of the Obama administration, is because there's a legacy to uphold. Once you start really analyzing what the Obama presidency was, you realize it was an unmitigated failure. It was a disaster. He came in as supposedly being the next FDR. He turned out to be like, I don't know, Richard Nixon pretty much. And so that's why, it kind of reminds me a lot of like LeBron James. He's so protective of his legacy and picking out any little thing anybody says. It's just like, God damn, bro. Like, don't you got shit to do? You're just like sitting there just responding to like every fucking tweet or comment made by some analyst. It's really crazy to me. But that's essentially what the Obama admin is, because I think more than anything, what he reveres the most is his legacy, which he knows that once people start looking at it with a critical angle instead of just a sort of messianic one, it starts to fall apart pretty fucking quickly. And that's kind of what it was. But yeah, that's what's going on. Some Biden team people getting some backlash for criticizing Barack Obama.